I am sick and tired of toxic masculinity trying to convince me that I am in need of help as a he them who they were where am I. I comply and stand with what I believe, and proudly shed my tears and sip my soylent in support of what this toxicity is trying to destroy. Isn't it obvious that my life is great, and that I live out as the compassionate man that this world is in real need of?
Oh, isn't it such a great time we live in, where signaling one's virtue is just a common attribute out into normal, present reality. One quick false move and you're making the wrong move. You say something wrong, everything else you say something wrong, you're viewed as wrong all around you for everything you stand for. It's just great. Now, of course, obviously, I don't believe that everything is set up like this, that we've gotten to a point where it is like this, that we are constantly walking on eggshells and trying not to crack them. But you could say, in a sense, that the perception of sensitivity has evolved quite a bit over the last couple of decades. This perception surpasses the old perception quite exponentially. It's quite obviously to see out there that in a lot of different societies, sensitivity is not what it is viewed as it used to be. And you can see this exponentially expressed, signaled out there by a lot of men. A lot of men signaling their virtues out there by the repression of the actions that need to be taken within their life, that are making them completely avoid the enjoyment that is just given fully naturally to any individual. And a huge cause for this happening to a lot of men out there these days is an immense increase in sensitivity, leading to being sensitized out into their realities and being established by their indulgements of comfort from the avoidance. Because when one is sensitive about anything, it is clear that they want to avoid it. But just a fun fact, men have 25% more thicker skin than of the opposite sex. And that's just the complete answer to overcoming being oversensitive within one's life, is to have thicker skin. And it all comes centered clear to what exactly is the answer to having thicker skin within one's life. To not be overly sensitive to life. Knowing and trusting the exact truths you stand for. If you need to engage with something within your life, it all starts with trusting your own self, that you can take care of this engagement and fulfill the enjoyment that will be brought into you through those truths that you live for. Everything you stand for, that you put out there, is obtainable, and you trust yourself with that. And you have nothing to worry about it. You just live by your truths. Stand by yourself. Because if you get caught up into a situation where some form of sensitivity is supposedly supposed to be brought out of you, like a jab put at you, and you live by yourself, you stand for who you are and what you are, you don't take any of that seriously. Because if you are in the wrong in any type of way, you will know it and you will realize it, which means you can admit to it. And once you as a man can admit to your faults, it should just end right there, because you've admitted your wrongs, and that's it. Stop taking it so seriously. Because no matter how many wrongs you may have done, and you know it's a wrong you've engaged in, there's always a great intentional idea to follow up from that within your own self, to rid yourself of that wrong. But say you're not in your wrong, and you're caught up in a situation where you've done nothing that has escalated the situation that is going about right in front of you. It had nothing to do with the conundrum being thrown at you. As in some kind of a force or individual, whatever, is trying to pull your sensitivity out of you, out of literally nothing. They're trying to test how thick your skin is. Stop taking that so seriously. Walk away. When I was young, to like beginning of high school, middle school, I got caught into a same trap that a lot of guys feel as well. And it's over texting a chick, being too sensitive towards a chick because you're scared she's going to get bored and just not be interested in you. And when in fact you act like that, it just scares them farther and farther away. I mean, I know a lot of guys can vouch for me, but like, I have chicks I haven't talked to since I've engaged in that activity, and that was almost 20 plus years ago or so. When in almost every case, if not all, with dealing with that type of situation, with me trying to impress a chick or something, or just getting in a fight altogether with anyone, if I know I'm not in my wrong, and I just simply just don't care anymore and just walk away from it as if this is really not even real, I have nothing to do with this. It ends up going in my favor almost every single time. Acting as if you are completely impenetrable because you are thick-skinned. You are in fact not sensitive to the situation because there is no need to be sensitive whatsoever. And what goes along with the same guidelines as this is coping with distress. Coping with general rejection within life. It's no big deal. Because if you want an omelet, you're gonna have to crack a couple eggshells. Stand by those truths, and it's as if anything just rolls off of your skin. You're thick as Earth's crust skin that is being thrown at you, no matter what it is. Because if you are living by your truths, standing by it, and not letting anything push you off of that center, what exactly happens when something gets destructive on the Earth's crust? Eventually, the Earth just heals it back. It grows right over it, and it becomes even more denser and thicker and more robust. And that same effect will happen to you once you learn to truly cope with distresses within your life. Not being so sensitive to the rejections and the conundrums coming at you within life. Shying away from it. It's tippy-toeing around situations. Stand tall, stand proud, and don't be pushed off center. And just bask and breathe in the brisk that is all going around you at that present moment. Ask yourself repeatedly, what's the worst that could really happen? Is completely avoiding something really the answer? Or engaging with it all the way through and accepting it, is that really the answer? There's really nothing to fear. If you live true to who you are, there's nothing to fear whatsoever. In fact, there is no need to be overly sensitive towards anything. It's just an overreaction at that point. And it doesn't matter if you feel like you've spent years upon years of acting this way, that you feel like it's just cemented within your life, that there's just no way of changing this. That's bullshit. At the drop of a hat, you can cut this completely out of your life and start acting your true self. It's always been there. You've just been avoiding it. So like you think of a funny joke you want to say, just say it. Like you're trying to impress someone and you're just completely attracted to that person. You can express that. It's alright to express it, but don't overly express it because it doesn't matter. Keep it as general as possible. Like you see yourself in an argument and you know you're not and you're wrong, that you have done everything you could to solve the issue and move past it, and it's not being resolved, walk away. It just doesn't matter at that point. There's no point in staying. Walk away from that. There's no point in pleading yourself with your sensitivity vibes out there to convince whoever is throwing at you with this argument. Walk away. And if you are in your wrong, own up to it and forget about it. Move on. Because you're a man and you have nothing to hide. And you should have full acceptance with that. And trust yourself with any type of thing that you put out there as your truths, and stand by them.